Hi there, it's Steve here. Just looking at some of my gear today. Been wandering through some of my cupboards and having a look at what stuff I've got lying around, and I came across this TC Electronic pedal, the Cinders Overdrive, which I purchased probably not so long ago actually. Meant to use it and put it on a pedal board or have a go with it, and it just kind of moved straight into the cupboard. So I thought it'd be a good opportunity just to take the thing out and plug it in and maybe do a little video on it. I know these things are really cheap and you can find them online, places like Amazon. That's kind of next day delivery and very cheap. I think actually this one is running about, well, it says on the website $22.90 US, plus taxes, I guess. But in the UK, that's probably about £29 to £35. And if you look on the TC Electronic website, you'll see there's a bit of not a huge amount of information on it, but it says, I'll quote from here, it says it's an all analog circuit convincingly recreating the warm harmonic distortion associated with a hard driven tube amplifier. Bit of research that I did myself. Most people seem to conclude it's based on some kind of a Boss Blues driver. So yeah, not a bad pedal if that's what it is actually based on. You'll have heard I used that in the sort of intro piece, using it as a sort of drive into what I'm actually using here is a Friedman IRX, rather than miking up a cab or anything like that. So you're hearing a Music Man guitar into a Friedman IRX, and we're running through the Cinders Overdrive. So I guess it's really quite a straightforward pedal. You've only got 3 controls on it. They've got this kind of format with the TC Electronic pedals. I guess on the screen, if you haven't seen one in the flesh, they are a bit bigger than you think, really. They kind of go for this kind of vertical look where you've got you're kind of a bit more stretched up here, really. Your inputs and outputs are on the top, so pretty simple on the top, input and output and the power. I guess the positive here is that with this kind of format that you've got nothing on the sides here, so you've really got, you can kind of lock these in with a number of pedals. I guess if you went for the full-on TC Electronic suite, you could have quite a few pedals on the pedal board. But yeah, it's a good layout. I quite like that. But I say the pedal's a bit bigger than you kind of expect. You've got 3 controls on it: tone here, volume and drive, and obviously an off-on indicator. Button here. It's interesting in itself, actually. I guess it says it's true bypass, and I believe that. It kind of cuts itself out of the circuit, but the actual button is different to a lot of ones that you experience. It's just a momentary switch, so it's obviously switching something internally, which is causing the true bypass, which gives it a good feel, actually. Quite like that. So really, there's not really a lot to say about it. I think it doesn't run on batteries, as far as I'm aware. But most things run off a pedal board nowadays, so wouldn't worry too much about that. I'm going to start. What I think I'll probably do is just give you some audio sounds. Obviously, you heard it on the intro, but what I'll probably do is just run some basic loops through a looper pedal and then just talk through the controls as we go. So let's take a loop at that now. What I'll do is set all these to 12 o'clock to start with, I think. Right, so as I said, we're plugged in with a Music Man. I'm just going to bridge pick up here. The idea being here, what I'm trying to do with, and if I do some more of these videos, if you like these videos, let me know, because I'll do a few more. Just trying to keep it really simple. And I guess when I've watched a lot of the review videos, I've kind of enjoyed the ones, I say enjoy, I've kind of got the most value out of the ones where they just kind of keep it simple and let you hear the pedal itself. So I'm just going to kind of replicate that, really, and just play a couple of little riffs and things, or whatever, bits and pieces, or even open chords and things, and just let you hear what these things are doing. So I'm going to run this on a loop, really. So I'm going to just show you, actually what I should have done here is just basically play this to you clean. This is the clean sound, basically. Okay, so let's switch the pedal on. So just everything dead straight up. It's pretty subtle. It's not a huge amount of drive. So let's bring so it's definitely kind of fattening up the sound there. It's bringing some more bass in there. I guess I'd probably be tempted just to bring the volume down a bit to match what it was before, unless, of course, you want to run this into an amp, or you want to use it for a kind of a boost into an amp. So let's bring the drive up a bit further. So I guess at this level you've got a fair bit of drive. We're not in distortion territory, but we've definitely got a bit of drive going on there. It's quite fat, I think. I'm listening with headphones on, and it's quite full sound on that. And as I say, you could use this to boost on the volume front. I'm not going to do too much on that because it's going to overload the interface, but you could bring that up. So let's have a look at that. I'm going to leave this on a sort of high drive. Let's bring that in the middle. I'm going to bring that all the way down now. So it's really going from, I suppose, what you'd expect on 0. You're getting pretty much no difference in the gain there. It's unlikely you're going to, unless you're using it for volume boost, it's unlikely you're going to be doing that. So let's go back up to quite a bit of drive. Bring the volume back down to 12 o'clock. And then I'll have a go with the tone control. So I guess there that you've seen there's a fair bit of gain. It's an overdrive pedal. It's not a distortion pedal, which is good. You can get that volume boost, I suppose, if you're running that into a sort of overdriven amp. It'll push it a bit further. You could stack it with another gain pedal. That'd be good. And you've got a bit of variety on the tone control. I think with the TC Electronic stuff, I think a lot of people kind of look down on them as obviously they're made by Behringer and they're seen as a cheap pedal, but it seems pretty good to me. There is a bit of noise that you hear in there. I think actually I've got kind of a bit of hum in the system here at the minute. I need to kind of bottom that out, but certainly when you're using the pedal on its own, there isn't any noticeable hum other than, you know, if you're using it in a high gain setting, you're obviously going to increase whatever's in the background. If you've got noise there, it's just going to get louder. But the actual pedal itself, really, really quiet. I mean, the construction's great. It's really solidly made. I mean, how do they make these things for this price, really? They must be coming out of the factory for pennies, and by the time they got the markup on them and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's really good. I'd be happy to put this on a decent pedal board, you know, with my own sort of live board. I'll try, just before we go, I'll just do a few some stuff on just some kind of chord or overdriven power chords or something like that to give you an indication. So let's set these back to 12 again. Okay, it's a really basic riff there, but hopefully it'll give you an idea. Actually, I'm going to start with the drive just here. So there you go. That's the Cinders Overdrive from TC Electronic. I say it's been languishing in my cupboard for a few weeks, I guess, or maybe for a few months now. And I thought it would just be worth doing a quick video on it. So hopefully you might have found that useful. If you like that, maybe subscribe, and I might do some more videos. I've got a few things in the cupboard that I suppose I could dig out, and it'd be good to go through. Yeah, hopefully you found that good and useful. And I definitely recommend this pedal. Certainly for the money, so very good. Thank you very much, and thanks for watching. Cheers.